Priti Sanwalka. Welcome to the Urban Communities for Change series of Sustainability Next. Thank you for doing this with us and for sharing iamgurgaon experience over the last 16 years. Um, let's chat and understand your experience and learn from it, and other communities can learn from your experience. So the first question is, tell us a bit about yourself, Preeti. How did you get into it?
Okay. Thank you so much, Benedict and the magazine for reaching out to IAM Gurgaon. It means a great deal to us to be recognized and interviewed by you. So thank you once again for that.
Well,
Coming to myself, I'm a by qualification I'm a chartered accountant.
okay.
Worked all my life in a corporate world. The only thing I knew about plants was really some kind of fruit plants and so on. So not really too much into ecology or environment or anything like that. I chanced upon, as life went along, I decided to take a sabbatical for a year from my organization, and I never went back.
Oh,
So during that year, I'm Gurgaon had just started out. It was a year and a half old, and I got introduced through a common friend. I went for a volunteering drive,
mm,
and this was almost 15 years back,
okay.
and I never went back. And now I'm full time with I am Gurgaon.
Great.
So I called it my second innings. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. I think uh, we've been talking to other leaders, community leaders as well. I think the general trend is that successful professionals who have worked in their careers and been successful, they want to see a larger meaning to their lives and want to contribute. uh, Otherwise it becomes like a uh, one-sided life, so it's good to
True.
explore the other. And I think second innings is great. That's the way to look at, and I think if you follow Indian cricket, India does better in second innings than first innings.
I do. I do.
Yeah. Okay, great. So you're a co-founder. What are Who are the other co-founders and how did it start?
So the founding was done by three people. One of
Mhm,
them left, and I joined.
mhm,
So the founding was done by Latika Tukral,
mhm,
Swanzil Kak Kapoor,
mhm,
and a girl called Amrita.
mhm,
So Amrita left shortly after it started,
mhm,
and then a couple of us joined us. So we're a group of 8 women who decided that we wanted to make a difference to the city. Uh, all of us, none of us come from actually from either a background of running an NGO or working with an NGO, or any of us from the background of environment.
mhm.
So Latika is a banker, Swanzil is an architect. As I told you, I'm a chartered accountant. One person is an artist, one is a counselor, and
Oh,
one used to be part of a business. So all varied backgrounds.
good,
But I
good.
think
It's a
that
good complementary skills.
yeah, but the common thread was I think all of us wanted to make a difference to the city, and all of us were at that stage of life that we could afford to give up our careers and wanted to take on something different. All of us are volunteers, as I said. None of us get paid. The funds that we raise is, of course, for the rest of the team that works alongside us.
Very interesting. So I saw the list of corporates that you work with, and they're funded. It's like a who's who of Indian corporates. So you've done something really good in terms of marketing the your initiative.
Yeah, so just a bit of background on that as well. So when we started I am Gurgaon, we started very small. And I don't think any of us had thought that it will last so long and it will become so big. We started with thinking that maybe we'll take small initiatives, work for it for 2, 3 hours, volunteer, and that's about it. But projects happened and it just became bigger and bigger. And in terms of funding, we all our projects are on government land. We sign detailed memorandum of understandings (MOUs) with the government because very soon we realized that the moment a year into our founding, that if we want to make a big impact in any city, you have to work alongside the government, with the government on government land.
Yes, yes.
So we've been fortunate that the government trusts us, the government gives us the liberty to take on these projects and lets us run with them. And funding, we don't take any money from the government at all. All our funding is from corporates or individuals. So 99% is generally corporates, 1% is some individuals who give us a small amount of funding. We are fortunate that we are in Gurgaon. So a lot of people, headquarters are in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
And I think as a city, a lot of people who are well-meaning, they do realize that if we don't act, this is the place where we stay, we live, we breathe, we drink the water from here. If we don't do something about it on an urgent basis, the city will sink. So we met pretty like-minded people, whether it was in corporates or in just individuals, and I think word of mouth helped a lot. Our first project helped a lot, and I think people can see our projects in the city itself.
What
And
was
that
your
is
first project?
our first project was the Aravali Biodiversity Park.
Oh, okay. I read
It's
about
a
it. Yes.
it's a 380-acre site, which was a mining site. Mining was declared illegal around 2009.
It's an
And
abandoned mining site, basically.
it was an abandoned mining site. Mining was there for maybe 40 years.
Mining
It was
was what?
going
Mining
mining of the rocks.
rocks, okay.
So the rocks were being mined for construction.
Construction.
So the entire place was like it was dust, and there was no topsoil. Of course, there was no greenery, nothing left, and the entire probably city of Gurgaon, a lot of it was being constructed out of the rocks which were being carried out.
Can you send us a picture of how it was then and how it was now?
Absolutely, I can send you a full report on it. We
Yeah.
did a 10-year report.
Oh,
So in
nice.
that we have photographs which show the before and after,
Nice.
and you can see the stark difference. So that site was declared by the IUCN, which is a body from United Nations, as the first OECM site in the country. So OECM stands for a place which has not been declared as a forest, but it is, because of a study done by IUCN, they realized that it is so biodiverse that it needs to be protected. So it was the first in its country which was declared, and Prime Minister Modi also mentioned it in his Man Ki Baat speech. Now you have, I think, 15 or 20 such sites within the country, but this was the first.
Oh, nice. That's a story by itself. We could
Yes.
chase and do 15 OECM, right? What's the full form?
It's, I think, other environment measures, I think something like that it's called.
Okay, I'll figure out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How many volunteers do you have now?
So when we say our core team is, as I told you, 8 of us,
Okay.
and we have a very active volunteer group, which is pretty much existent on our WhatsApp group. But we need a lot of volunteers through the year, but intensively during our planting season. So we plant only in the monsoon. Gurgaon gets very, very dry,
Yeah.
as you know, and it's very stressed for water, very stressed for rain. Rain is erratic, I think, which is the world over, and it's becoming more erratic. So, but we plant only in the monsoon because the area is very dry. We cannot dig. Survival is very low, and therefore planting is in a very short period of 2 months. So we approximately plant 20,000 saplings in those 2 months. So we're literally planting every day. And that's the time we need volunteers, not to dig up pits, not to plant with us, but all our planting is done with communities. So that's the time we need volunteers who we train on how to ensure that the planting is done properly.
Okay.
So in terms of a volunteer group, we may have, to answer your question, we may have a group of maybe 100 volunteers, but actively on the ground, of course, it keeps changing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get less, sometimes we get more.
Yeah. Project-based volunteering, you see. Basically.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So you've totally done 15 projects, and most of them are in the regeneration or reclamation of poor land, isn't it?
That's right. So we call it rewilding.
Rewilding,
That's,
yeah.
yeah. So
We love
that's
that word.
yeah. So that's the term which actually the ecologists who we work with, his name is
Hmm.
Vijay Dashmana. So as I started by saying, none of us are from this background. So we were fortunate that we reached out to and we got in touch with Vijay Dashmana. He's an
Say again,
ecologist and
Vijay.
Vijay Dashmana,
Second, how do you spell the second?
Dhasmana.
Interesting. In fact,
So he,
we did a session on rewilding at our Green Literature Festival uh, last year. So I
okay,
guess if we do in Delhi, I'm sure we'll invite you to
absolutely you should. So I
about your
mean,
rewilding experience.
yes. So he's been with I Am Gurgaon the journeys from day one,
Mm.
and biodiversity park and all of that. So he's a curator for all our projects.
Oh, nice.
So because as I said, none of us are from this ecology background. We very soon realized that we want to
Mm.
make forests, but we have to get an expert in,
Yeah.
and along the way we learn as well.
Mm.
And so we were fortunate to get him in, and he's a consultant with us.
Mm.
And we have our own plant nursery, which we
Mm.
created because very soon we realized that nobody grows these plants, which we have to. So we had no choice. We created that, and from that nursery we plant out in all our projects.
And focus on Indian species, you said.
It's all on native Aravali species.
Native, yeah.
Native Aravalis, because
Oh,
that's where we are.
yes, yes.
That's where all our projects are within Gurgaon. That's where we are in the Aravalis. So what we grow in the nurseries is native Aravali, and that's what we plant out.
So are you able to, or are the citizens able to see a tangible difference around the projects that you're doing? Because Gurgaon feels so dry, feels so dusty when some comes there. So are people able to see tangible difference from your projects over a period of time, in 16 years?
Yes. So I think when you'll be able to see the photographs, I think the story tells itself on the before and after pictures of our projects, and I can send you for not only the biodiversity park, I can send you for all our projects.
Yeah.
So that itself will tell you the story of the before and after. And in terms of citizens, we actively see we so one way of restoration or rewilding is that we close the site and we restore it, we rewild it, and we open it up, let's say after 10 years or 15 years. But because we are creating urban spaces, whether it's forests or walkways or recreating bunds, we intentionally open these sites from day one to the public because we want the community to come together to realize that this is not a project which is an isolation of IIM Gurgaon or of the municipal corporations here. It is each one's project. The city belongs to all of us. Each one of these projects belong to all of us, and then the ownership comes. So during whether we do cleanliness drives, whether we do plantation drives, we involve communities, which is citizens, schools, both from private schools and children from government schools, all come during those drives, and we have nature walks through the year to educate people and to so they see the change, the transformation, and they feel part of it because if one comes in and does any kind of volunteering activity, they do realize that this is how difficult it is to make a forest and how much they appreciate the transformation. So we have volunteers or citizens who come year on year, who come back to that space after 5 years, and their first reaction always is, "Oh my God, what a change! The place is looking cleaner, it's looking greener, definitely more accessible. They're seeing more birds, butterflies, and it's a delight. So all of us just say this is the biggest compliment you can give us that you're seeing a change.
Yes, yes. See and feel.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, outstanding work, Priti. I think the next lesson which I ask everybody in the community space is how do you navigate working with the municipality and the government, which seems so difficult otherwise?
So I have to say, as I said, we were fortunate that when our first big project, which was the Aravali Biodiversity Park, we took on, the municipal authorities, the senior most people were people who were well intentioned, well educated, and I think they understood our vision. They had a we created a joint vision with them, and they were very cooperative, and that's how the first project came about. Over the years, Gurgaon being Gurgaon, and it's being because it's it's right next to Delhi, and it's all politics keep happening and so on, which happens everywhere. People keep changing a lot at the top. But I think over a period of time, because we've been here 16 years, the government also sees merit in these projects. So initially, we were reaching out to the government for projects. Now it's the other way around. The
Oh,
government actually reaches out to us.
good, good.
So which is a very good change.
Mhm.
So the government also realizes that it is government work that we are doing, and it is well-intentioned work. I think the moment they start realizing that it's well-intentioned, it is for a common good. I think they all come around and they're very cooperative.
How do you keep the land mafia at a distance? Because it's one
Uh,
of Gurgaon is so so many
yes.
mafias there.
Yes. So, frankly, we have not had too much of a problem with land mafia because, as I said, before we get into a project, spaces are very clearly defined,
Mm.
and government MOUs are there. Having said that, yes, do we have people who try to break fences and to encroach? That happens all the time. But because we know that we have the paperwork, we have those maps, the first thing we do is what we call ground truthing and actually marking out the boundaries, and that's done by the government. And then we know that we are this is the space that we have to work on. We're very clear, and if need be, we do contact the government in case there's any problem. And they do come around, whether it's the police or the municipal authorities. They do come around and they help us with that.
So totally 15 projects. Uh, what will be the total land?
Around 800 acres.
Oh, 800 acres.
100 acres. So we've had big and small projects. And as I was talking to you, some of our projects are forests. This is 380 acres. There's another 90-acre forest, 175 acres. Some spaces are actually walkways. So these are there are two projects which are very interesting, and I think they're very important for the city. These are projects which are relating to what we call band, or from the Hindi word band.
Nice.
So Gurgaon being landlocked, when it used to rain a lot excessively, the villages used to get flooded. So these bunds were created or channels were created through the city. Around 40 or 50 of them were created to hold the water, and there was an accessibility in terms of walking alongside those bunds. But construction happened; these bunds got dumped out or constructed upon, so there are very few of them left. So one of them we took over immediately after the biodiversity park, which is the Chakarpur Wazirabad Bund. Those are the names of the villages which are around there. So these we cleaned up those spaces, and we've made a walking cycling track there. We also call it an urban mobility corridor because you can literally, it's 5.6 kilometers long. You can move from one end of the city to the other without using your car.
Oh, nice.
So there are very few spaces in Gurgaon which are actually pedestrians can walk, and that's something which is lacking. So this is a safe space. You can take in a cycle, but not a motorcycle. That's the way we've designed the gates. They've been innovatively designed so that and people are safe. They can walk or they can jog, and we've of course planted along. So it's a linear forest. It's beautiful to walk in, and that continues to be maintained by us. So
Now,
that's one of.
when I come to Delhi, I know where to go this time.
Absolutely. You must come and visit all our projects.
Yes, yes, I will.
So that was one. There's another project called Badshapur Corridor. That's again built on top of a box drain. The drain had been boxed by the government, and on the side of that, we've actually cleaned it and again created linear forest. Again, a haven for, of course, for birds and butterflies, but of course for people to walk and accessible in terms of recreation as well as mobility.
Amazing. So we are touched. I think it's 21 minutes. Can we extend by 2-3 minutes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another thing I'd love to also point out, which is very important. You asked the question: do citizens feel the impact of our projects? I'm happy to say I think wherever our projects are happening, the city feels an impact. So because we have rain, which is very inconsistent, you have a sudden shower, which is like for half an hour you'll have a lot of rain, and then for maybe a week you won't have rain. So a lot of water gets flooded.
Yes.
So like all cities, most new cities, there isn't a proper drainage which has been created, or sewage which has been created, or stormwater drains, or they've been choked. So all our projects we ensure that the water from any of the rows which are there, we pull into into the site. So water doesn't get flooded. No, none of those areas upstream or downstream get flooded, and it's a win-win. The water comes into our forests, they fill the ponds, and it increases the water table.
Yeah.
So we don't cement anywhere in our. We use minimal cement anywhere in our projects to ensure that the water table, water seeps in. So instead of just trying to channel water from one end of the city to the other, we just pull it into our the green belts, the green forests, into the ponds, and it just soaks in.
So what's
So
your
that.
message to professionals or anyone in Indian cities uh, to make a difference to the climate, to their neighborhoods?
So I think if you're well intentioned and you use basic common sense, we can all make a difference to the city, to each
And
one of
give
our
time,
cities,
and give time.
and give time. So give time, give ideas, give your technical knowledge. If you can't do it full time, raise your hand if you're an architect, raise your hand if you're a finance professional, or if you're an ecologist. Raise your hand and give simple. I think what work for us is simple solutions work for us. Simple pulling water into from high point to low point, simple gravity, using minimal, reusing waste, which we have. That's another story because all our sites are drowning all the cities are drowning in waste, whether it's plastic or it's construction waste. Gurgaon is a city perpetually under construction.
Yes.
All the construction waste is littered everywhere. So one of the sites, which is the second big project that we've taken up in 2021, it is just opposite the Aravali Biodiversity Park. It's 175 acres. It's called the Aravali Nagar One. When we walked into the site, we could just see plastic and construction waste. We've taken out 900 trucks of plastic from that,
Wow.
tried to recycle some, but unfortunately, most of it we could not recycle because it was mixed with soil and it had to go to a landfill. Construction waste we have not taken out at all. We reuse the construction waste within our sites. So, all our sites, that's the story we try to follow. That whatever construction waste we find, we try innovative ways to use it, whether it's creating boundary walls, creating benches, we create parking spaces. Instead of buying new material, we just crush the old construction waste, fillers. So that's what we do. So construction waste we don't move out of the site. We reuse them, but plastic waste, unfortunately, we don't. We can't, and therefore we also started working on waste. We have 4 recycling units that we have created within our sites for dry waste.
Mhm.
So, because we realize that waste is a problem everywhere, and how do we stop the root cause? So, anybody from their households or offices can come and drop off their dry waste in these areas. It gets segregated and it goes to responsible recyclers.
Yeah. Cool. So, what's the future plan 5 years from now?
So, future plan is, I think, trying to change some policy of the government, influence the government in trying to, come up with better solutions to a city, make a more planned city and plan for everything. Whether it is, unfortunately, most cities are created only for people who have cars, whereas 90% of the city is of people who actually are cyclists or pedestrians. So that is a very, very big thing lacking. Basic infrastructure is lacking in terms of sewage and waste disposal. So all of that, and it's not that difficult to solve. The intention has to be there, and the policy has to be there, and enforcement, of course.
So, do you get
So
a chance? Have you rather got a chance, or you would like to become part of the policy making?
So, none of us, I think, want to be in the policy making, but definitely influencing.
Okay.
So, I think all of us, with the kind of recognition that we've got, we are able to talk to senior people. We do get an opportunity, and whenever we do try and get them to our sites to see how things happen and try and influence that. So, I think if I was to end, I would just say that I think if a group of citizens come together with the right intention, an individual or just a group of 7 or 8 can make a difference to a city.
Yes. On that note, thank you so much, Kriti, for your time, and really deserve all those 15 awards that you've got, 13 awards that I counted, and many more to come. And all the best for your future venture.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aditi and Benedict, for having me. And I will send
Thank,
across the information that you asked.
Yeah, thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you for sharing it.